Or it's the dogs.
Oh, there could be Robert's laying down.
Sometimes they go underneath.
Don't understand.
Okay. So maybe it's another animal underneath us.
No other animal would be there.
I hear animals under there all the time.
That's really not appropriate to call your children that.
Nocturnal animals, though, not during the daytime.
Like little Chrissy bat.
Oh, a little bat.
Little guy.
Sad. I screamed, though.
Yeah, I know. No, everybody heard it.
Only because I thought one of the kids fell onto it.
Onto the bat?
Yes. They tripped. They're all crowding around. And then I thought they were going to hurt it. It was touching it. The bat being there is okay, but touching it is what made me scream.
touchy, right?
Yeah.
That's a good rule for life.
Any deaths to disclose? My mom, thank you, Mother, for disclosing Olivia Newton-John. Also very sad, but I'm prepared. Again, see, I thought she was like 42.
Nope. No, she was when she probably filmed Grease.
Oh, she was way younger than that.
Well, how old was she now? 72 or something?
Sure.
Grease came out in what, the 80s?
Did it?
I don't know.
I just assume everyone's around my age.
A hell of a way to go through life.
Yeah.
So do you think that people in your age group just die randomly all of a sudden of old age?
Well, that's why I'm so shocked. Or from when I remember, I remember Sean Connery. Hunt for Red October. I just always think of him as that old.
Right. There are some things that don't react well to gunfire.
There you go. See?
It's a great line, though.
Right.
And it's even better because Alec Baldwin imitates it and makes fun of him for the rest of it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting the key out of my pocket.
There's that. Saw Cale McCarr last weekend.
Sure did.
Got a picture with him with the kids.
That's definitely thunder.
Oh.
Yeah, great picture. He didn't remember me from our encounter in the Denver International Airport. A little disappointing, but I'm sure he tries to block out all the people that he's weirded out by. And I straight up was that guy, called his name, and made everybody turn and shook his hand.
At the airport?
No, when we saw him last weekend.
Oh, well, I went up to him like, hey, excuse me. I said, hey, excuse me, because he was surrounded by his friends, and his one buddy kind of tapped him. I'm like, my daughter was too shy to get a picture of you before, but she loves you. I wish I said Avs is our favorite team, but I didn't. Can she get one now? Like, yeah, sure. It was cool. And then we had a little Ryan Gosling.
I think that's more made up than actual real sighting.
Event today. I don't know.
So are we a celebrity gossip podcast now?
No, I stayed back. Everybody's like, Mommy, you got to come. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going up.
You know why?
Why?
Because he's too short for you.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's out of the, I would be much more worried if he was cracking 6'2", 6'3". I'd be like, oh my God, he's beautiful and tall. I can't ever let her go to the lake without me.
But no, he's not my type. Even if he was tall.
He's a good looking cat.
No.
Have you ever seen The Nice Guys? Him and Russell Crowe?
Oh, no.
Fantastic movie.
Is it?
Oh, it's hands down one of my favorite movies he's ever done. His character is phenomenal. I'll let it.
We should watch it.
We should, anytime. I own it.
Cool.
All right, great episode. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. So just wanted to get the depths out of there because I don't want to be a big crybaby today. But on that note, actually, I don't know. Hopefully today it's not going to be applicable to all parents, but maybe. But I was just wondering from your perspective what it's like to parent children with ADHD and maybe have a spouse with ADHD.
Maybe. Good size. Okay, yeah, we'll play it like that. Yeah.
Okay, okay, Kate.
In the event that my wife may or may not have ADHD, like my children, let's play that game. I may or may not have a full head of hair. Nobody listening to this will ever know unless they've met me. Okay. It's interesting because so just to set the stage, our oldest is diagnosed. She's got it for sure. Our youngest isn't.
Officially diagnosed.
Officially, and that's one way or another. I mean, if she feels it becomes an impediment and wants to look into it, we'll do that.
She has started asking for meds.
Yeah, which I think I'm okay supporting whatever she needs to be comfortable and be able to focus and learn and do all that stuff. Like when we first talked about this is an interesting part of it. get back to the original question, but this was an interesting thing for me to have to wrap my head around when we first were talking about it with Maya. You and her were already further down the path talking about ADHD than I was. Like, it wasn't a topic she brought up to me. So by the time I was looped in the conversation, you guys were already basically decided that it's time for meds and we're going to talk to a doctor. And in my head, I had to really play catch up. Like, hang on. Like, why are we talking about medicating my kid here out of the blue?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, so this is a perfect example to answer your question of what it's like to have family members with ADHD. That's it right there. You two locomotives blasted out of the station, figuring, well, we're doing this thing, so everybody around us should have a complete knowledge of what's happening. And it wasn't until you sent the form to me and said, so we need this filled out because we're meeting with Dr. Abrahamson next week to go through and get meds for Maya. What? Yeah, can you just fill it out and we're just gonna go. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm okay with my kid getting meds then.
Oh, okay, maybe that's the episode.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a perfect example of what it's like to be a parent of kids with ADHD and married to someone who may have ADHD. It is a lot of, there's like, I find there's so many parts to this to try and peel back. I don't find Maya to be as unhappy as she was pre-diagnosis. Like, she struggled a lot. She struggled socially. She struggled with school. She was constantly in her own head and really was having a tough time. But she's a much more balanced kid in terms of how she deals with social situations and how she approaches new friends and how she deals with school and vocalizing what she likes and doesn't like. And, you know, if we teased her before about, you know, being clumsy or missing something in a game, she would lose it. Like, and it was because that's what she really felt, was that there was something wrong with her and she was dumb and she couldn't do it or whatever it was, right? Now, like, you tease her about something in a game and you're getting it right back. Like, she's way more confident. But it's really tricky to deal with the unexpected indifference or ambivalence that occurs with ADHD. And it's basically the listening, or when their brain is full and they're not listening. Any of my three children, any of the three kids that have ADHD in our family.
I'm not a child.
Anyways.
I might act like a child.
That's a t-shirt right there. Parent of the Year podcast. I am not a child. It's tricky because I have to make sure that I am aware of the situation before I react. Because if I ask her to do something, or any of them to do something, and literally I can see the space between their ears because they're just not able to focus and listen, it used to drive me nuts. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm speaking to you and making eye contact with you, and I need you to do this thing. And the response is, what? It's like, oh my God, like, how is this happening? And then, but now I know, like, if Maya's schedule's off or she hasn't taken meds or it's later in the day, I got to take that into account, right? And it's not that she's incapable. I have to approach it differently, right? If I need help with something, I have to approach it differently because 99% of the rest of the day, she's on point. If I ask her to do something, if I ask Willow to do something, assuming she doesn't just not want to do the job, they listen, they go do it. They don't always get it right, but they do it. You know what I mean? So for me, it was a lot of learning patience and just recognition of which kid I was talking to. Was I talking to a fully rested, engaged kid? Or was I talking to a kid that just had a 10-hour day plus sports and is just done? And if they're brain dead, they're brain dead. And I got to recognize that. And that was probably the biggest challenge for me. There are ongoing behaviors between my two children and my other not a child that I live with. I absolutely hate that I have to repeat every single story or conversation I have 3 times because 2 of the people aren't involved in the conversation. The first person isn't listening, so I have to repeat it once. So there's two tellings of the story. And then player two enters the game and goes, what about that? And then I've got to explain it to them, only for the third one to walk in and go, what are you guys talking about? And then you got to repeat it a third, fourth time. So that I could do with a lot less of. I don't really need that in my life.
And it's awesome when we're all at the same table.
Literally 2 feet from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody should have an awareness that there's a conversation going on that either involves me or doesn't involve me. But is that a symptom of ADHD? Always thinking it's about you, but not really getting to the party on time? Because that's what it feels like. No, I mean, it's just stuff like that, right? Like it's really interesting because you can, when they're focused. And that in itself causes some weirdness. Like they're too focused and they don't read the room well and they don't see the situation that's happening and they just do a thing or say a thing. But that to me is more, you got to teach kids that anyways, right? That's not an ADHD thing, but it is really just the weird stuff, like the absolute space cadet, don't pay attention. You did what? What? Oh, that's the other thing. The absolute lack of word recognition drives me nuts. Like we're like, oh man, that window's dirty. What about my shoelaces? And you're like, what? That drives me nuts.
Oh, I wish I had my phone here because I do have the stupid shit we say.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Gautier has a list for that with his partner. Amanda does the same thing. And hers are hilarious. But
we do mishear.
Oh, insane amounts. Yeah. Insane amounts. There's other stuff, but I think this is more just general common, behavioral, responsible person, considerate person stuff that you got to deal with from time to time. The amount of times that I'll be doing something and a radio that I'm listening to will just get turned off or will get twitched or whatever. And I'll go, what are you doing? And the person will be like, oh, I didn't realize you're listening to it. I'm literally the only person in the room with the radio going and you entered and turned it off. Oh yeah, I don't want to listen to that. That's where I'm like, okay, I don't know if you're just rude or if that's ADHD, right? But that to me, again, I just chalk up to their kids and, they sometimes just don't look beyond the end of their nose. So you got to teach them that stuff. But I don't know. I don't really feel that there's anything super hard. It was harder before medication, for sure. For sure it was hard because I didn't know how to relate to her. Mm-hmm. I didn't know why she was frustrated. I didn't know why she couldn't go talk to people. I didn't understand that, right? Mm-hmm. Now in seeing the dramatic difference in how she operates when she's medicated and not medicated, I 100% understand why it's a struggle for her. Like I totally get it, right? So I'm not forgiving. That sounds like she's doing something wrong, but I'm much more sympathetic when I know she's had a rough day or she's tired or she didn't get her meds or whatever, right? And she herself, a lot of times it leads to some funny stuff because like we were home last week, just her and I, and I've been teasing that she doesn't leave the basement because it's insanely hot. Like it's been hot for forever and we don't have air conditioning at the house. So she just stays in a room in the basement. And it's cold there. Like she's literally in flannel pajamas and a sweatshirt when I get home from work. But by the time I get home, she's done. Like her meds are done and she's used up her break capacity. So it's gibberish half the time. Like, I'm like, what did you do today? Oh, well, I and it's like, but she recognizes when she's in that kind of mode. So she can kind of laugh it off. And we just know that, okay, well, no hard multiplication questions for the next several hours and we'll be cool, right? But yeah, that'd be the big thing. And I hope with Willow, if she's having those conversations with you, I hope it gives her the same stability and kind of comfort level because she struggles with that stuff too in a different way. She is more outgoing and extroverted in a way. But because of that, I think she deals with a bit more rejection, right?
Well, because she says things impulsively.
Oh boy.
And I think she's starting to realize it because even every day this week, she said something fairly rude to me and immediately, because earlier this summer, she said something to a neighbor at the cabin, had said something and was like, oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't have said that after her sister called her on it. Yeah. And I think that happens a lot. She's just joking around or whatever, but she says something that offends somebody else. And she's really trying to change that around. I've noticed 100%. That this week, because even yesterday she said something super rude to me and immediately looked at me like, oh, I can't believe I said this. Mom, I was just joking. Like, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant to say. Yeah. And then she was like, sweet, afterwards. But you're right. Like, I think for her, that's probably the biggest challenge. And even adults are like, what? And they think that she's just this rude little brat, but it's her sarcasm. She's joking around and she's impulsive and says that, right? And then, but she is aware and starting to work on it.
And she's super quick. Like, part of the problem has always been that she picks up on the situation so fast than most of her friends. Not that the friends, I think Sunny moved. Not that the friends themselves aren't quick. I don't mean that at all, but she's just so fast. And we've talked about it before. She's super intuitive to reading people's kind of moods. Sometimes a bit too hyper-focused on it, but I think that as well plays into it. So I'd like to see if that's the issue, for her to be able to kind of manage that a bit better. Give herself just a break, because she's a great kid. She's a funny kid. She's a really sweet kid, but you're right. Sometimes situationally, she just gets that motor going so fast and it just comes out. And I was the same way, right? Like, I was, as a kid, I can't even believe some of the stuff I said as a kid, right? Mom will laugh about, oh, I remember this time that you said blah, blah, blah to so-and-so. And I'm like, my kids would be in so much trouble if I said that now, right? I would be cool with that. But it's just, I understand her. Like, I get that, because their brain is just so quick. Maya's the same, right? Maya's learned how to kind of control it a bit. Comes out when she's tired a bit more and stuff like that. But it's all, she's at a baseline now. And I think Willow has the opportunity, if that's what she wants to do, to baseline it as well. But for me, yeah, it's just being really aware of what stage of the day we're in, and then responding accordingly. That's the biggest thing I've had to learn.
She apparently missed 2 days of meds last week.
She sure did.
You noticed?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like having a stoner roommate. Like, it's the only way. And I don't mean that to be super rude, but that one friend of yours that you just walk in on them after you come home from work, and they're kind of like on the couch covered in Ritz cracker crumbs, watching Maury Povich. You're like, what'd you do for the day? Oh, where have you been? Well, I've been at work all day. What time is it? Well, it's like 6 o'clock, dude. Oh, that's the conversations we have. Right?
She said at one point, she's like, I forgot my meds and I've been poking something. Like, it's like 36 times I've been poking something. I'm like, what? I can't even remember what it was, but it was something offbeat.
Yeah.
They always tease me. They're like, oh, mommy, did you take your meds today? Or it's after 5. They're always saying that. It's after 5.
Yeah, it's after 5. Well, they chide me, right? Daddy, don't ask mommy questions. It's after 5. And it does lead to some real weird stuff, for sure. But I don't know. Like, for me, it always comes back to, I'm not a great dad. I'm an okay dad. I love my kids.
You're fantastic.
No. I don't mean that as I mean it in the sense that I'm very well aware of the type of person I am, but I'm very well aware of what I can do for the kids. And what I can do for the girls is the same thing. Just make sure they're comfortable. Make sure they've got as much stuff that they can have, that they can enjoy. There's enough shit out there that's going to make their days tough. I don't need to. But I find as they get older, I have to reteach how I give them that at each stage. Yeah. Right? When they're little, yeah, let's watch My Little Pony and you can talk to me about Barbies for 7 hours. Cool. I hate every minute of it, that piece, but I love hanging with you, right?
Yeah.
But that shifts, right? Now, my conversations with Maya are a lot different, right? As she starts exploring work and getting cars and what she's going to do, there's a bigger conversation that she's trying to get her head wrapped around. I'm cool with that. I can deal with that. But leading up to it, had she remained, undiagnosed, I don't know how it would have went, right? Because the conversations would have been harder if she wasn't able to grasp what we're talking about. But like, even this car that she's looking at buying, she's asking me questions, right? So it shows that she's got the engagement. It shows, she's like, did you get a hold of insurance today? No, I tried, I didn't get in. And she's right on top of me. Did you get a hold of insurance today? No, this is what I'm going to try and do. Okay. Years ago, she would have forgot altogether that there was something that she wanted and just expected it to be taken care of. Yeah. Right now, she realizes there's things. So that's cool. That shows that we're making that progress. And I know that we're about to enter a similar change of stage with Willow, right? Because Willow's about to go middle school. She's got grade 6 and then she's middle school. This is going to be an interesting year, right? How is she going to respond? This is about the age that Maya started looking at medication, right? Like all those things. So it's just, I've got to be prepared to see how this changes my interactions with Willow and then just roll with it as best I can, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the only thing that disappoints me with the kids is if they're being legitimate dickheads.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm like, really, dude? Like, did we not teach you better? Some of them are situational. Some of them are just, they don't understand. And they're like, oh, sorry, right? It's when they're legitimately, right? Like, you can see that they're not listening to you to help you with something and that act like they didn't hear you. You're being a dick.
Yeah.
Right? Get over here and help me. That's not cool. or they're not cool to their friends when they invite them over, or they're not cool to us when they invite us friends over, like stuff like that, right? Yeah. That's the stuff that I'm like, no, I'm not cool with that. Everything else I've had to learn is really stage driven. Where are they at? What is going on with them? And I'm good at reading people, but I struggle with the kids because I don't get what goes on when they're at school, right? I need them to translate it for me. And they don't. How's school? I hated science. Whereas Willow is, how's school? It was the worst. Here's the 17 friend fires that I had today, and I'm going to walk you through them all in detail. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Right? So, but yeah, that's the big thing, is just trying to learn that my place as I don't need to be guiding them as much anymore once I got medicated. Sorry, that's the wrong way of putting it. I don't need to be as proactive about how I guide her, right? How I can see what's going on around her and engage in her, and she can respond. And I know she's engaged, and we can have that bit of a conversation. Willow's right there too, right? Willow will come up and ask things and tell me what she needs. She's way more expressive on what she needs. We'll see what the next stage brings, right?
And it really is that adjustment. And I think like you can't parent an ADHD child the same way and expect. And I think it's frustrating, when you've got two gifted girls who are, one's almost an adult, you have to repeat 50 million times. You just can't do it. If you repeat yourself more than once, clearly it's not working, right? And so adjustments, I just even think with you and I, like the amount of things. Well, my favorite story to tell is when you told me to take the vacuum cleaner in to get fixed. Apparently, I said yes. Apparently, we had the conversation.
Apparently in front of it.
The only reason I say apparently that I agree, because I don't think we ever had the conversation, but my father was apparently there and apparently heard the conversation and apparently heard me say, okay, to taking the vacuum in. And you knew that I would forget. Mm-hmm. And so you put the vacuum in the trunk of my car.
And left it there. We didn't back to the house for weeks.
And then I one day needed my trunk and opened up my trunk. And I'm like, what the heck is this stupid vacuum cleaner doing in my car? Didn't even ring a bell. Didn't even trigger. Oh, yeah. No, it was, and dumped it in the...
Stupid Andy. I can't believe you do that. He makes everything so difficult. Oh my God, I got to do everything.
So I put the vacuum into the garage.
Yep, left it on the floor.
Yeah, and then left. And then after a while, you're like, oh, did you take it in? I'm like, what are you talking about? And by now, didn't even know that I had put the vacuum in the garage. I'm like, what vacuum?
Apparently, she took it out of her car. And apparently, she put it in the garage.
What are you talking about? Yeah. So, I mean... So you have found different ways, just telling me you just know. And I try so hard. I'm focusing on making eye contact with you.
But even that, I now know in all of you when I've lost you.
Yeah.
And instantly, like it's almost like there's a little you behind your pupils and I can see you and you're standing there at the window with your hand on the Venetian blind rod. And as I'm talking, you're turning it and the Venetian blinds close. And I can see it happening. And I'm like, well, store's closed for the day, everybody. That's what it's like. Like I can watch it. Like as my words are coming out, I'm like, nope, she's gone. There she goes. I don't know where she went.
It's so true. But you found ways to support. And even like I think about, like I went traveling for 2 years. I lived on my own, had to worry about my own visas and passports and how to get around and insurance. I survived doing it all. But as soon as...
Well, you used up that skill set. Eh?
But yeah, and I think that's where earlier in one of our earlier episodes, I talked about creating a dependency trap, right? But so now I don't have to worry about that because you take over all that stuff. But when you need me to do something, like it's written down in multiple places, you text me, you email me, plus you remind me.
And it's still not a guarantee.
Yeah. With the girls, though, I ask a lot of open-ended questions. Yeah. So what's your plan with chores today? What's your plan with bathing today? Bathing is a huge one for ADHD kids. It's such a nightmare. So what's your plan? And that gets them thinking, right? Rather than telling them, it's in one ear and out the other. They actually have to replay it in their head. So that's the thing. Okay, so think about, walk through, Caroline, watch yourself, take the vacuum, put it in the car, take it to whatever shop, like that's a big piece. They're missing that dress rehearsal. So when parents are getting really frustrated, go brush your teeth, go brush your teeth, go brush your teeth. It's been 15 years. Why don't you brush your teeth? Every day I have to remind you, or put your socks on, or put your clothes. And every day it's a fight for 15 years, right? It's because they miss that dress rehearsal in their head. They can't see themselves doing it. And so therefore it's gone. And so that's a big focus for me, is to ask open-ended questions. And that will, again, not fully guarantee things.
No, but it does close the loop a lot. Like I've seen you do that. Now the trick is the youngest, she's busted you on that because you said, what's your plan for whatever today? And she'll respond immediately, oh, I wasn't planning on that today. And just straight up. And you run out of runway, then it's like, well, shit. Okay, well, now I've got to be more direct, right?
I don't think so. I don't.
Oh, I did. Whenever she blasts me on that, I'm like, you little, because I know she's smart. I know she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. I think the one thing that really drives me nuts, probably more than anything, is looking for something.
Yes.
And I'll be across the kitchen, and Maya will literally be in front of the fridge, looking, not trying to move anything, but just looking at the one shelf that's right in front of her. And I'm like, dude, I can see it from across the kitchen at a weird angle. It's right literally in front of you at the end of your nose. That drives me nuts.
It's funny because I've watched that play out a million times, both as a participant and as an observer. And it's almost like their brain deliberately narrows their view.
Yeah.
Like, it's the weirdest phenomenon to watch.
Well, we do have a blind spot. I have this thing, maybe I'll put it in the show notes, where if you go closer to your screen, so there's like a dot and a plus sign. And if you go closer, the dot actually disappears. So we have a blind spot, but our eyes and our brain fill in the gaps. I wonder if just anything that we ask is always in their blind spot.
Oh my God, you might have just broken ADHD open here. You got to research this.
We always joked about, put your girl eyes in.
Yeah, which I think was not only sexist, but really shortchanged me as the only male in the house.
But I do wonder, it just seems like everything we ask them to look for is always in their blind spot.
Well, a perfect example is, as we were getting this episode going, I was asking if Caroline knew where the boat cover was so I could put it on. I have just asked my child to do the exact same thing. She was physically in the boat and apparently looking where you suggested I go look, and according to her, there's nothing up there. But I know if I open that seat up, it's going to be right there.
Then I threaten them. I say, if I come over there and I find it.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say. I don't even have to say anything. Okay.
Yeah. No, you're 100%.
And then they might look. But anyway. All righty. Any other last minute survival tips for parents?
Yeah, it helps to have a fridge in the garage separate from the family fridge, which is just filled with alcohol. I have made the decision. Maybe this is in relation to ADHD. I'm going to start distilling my own gin. And I didn't know why, but I think maybe that's it.
Huh?
Yeah. Because I can do it better.
Truthfully,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I found a book from the 1900s that teaches you how to build a moonshine still that you can use for gin.
Okay. Like legit 1900, or 1982.
No, like the early 1900s.
Okay. Because the girls were always like, you were born in the 1900s. I'm like, I was born in the 1970s.
I'm pretty sure that they think we still had horse-drawn carriages back then.
I'm sure they do.
No, I'm going to give it a whirl.
All right. Cool beans.
So that's it. Drink loads, be flexible, have a sense of humor. That's probably number one.
I think mine, if I were to give one, is the patience. Because kids, by the time they're 12 years old, our kids with ADHD hear over 20,000 pieces of negative feedback, more than other kids without ADHD.
100%.
So they're always, Johnny, get up, Johnny. They're always hearing their name. They're always being redirected. They're always, being nagged. And by the time they're 12, like a lot of them, it's bad when they give up. They go into this defeatist mode and they feel like they just give up. I can't do it anyways. Why even bother trying? I think that's a big one. And for me, grade 8, I really started feeling a lot of that. I remember doing crazy 8s for, my dad's, when I was mowing the lawn all around and he's quite particular about his lawn. but I just knew I wouldn't be able to do it good enough anyway. So why even try? Right. Yeah. So, but we see, I mean, that's just lawn mowing, but we see it in schools, just give up in school anyway, or it's better to be the class clown or the aggressor. I'm going to just chuck my pencil and flip my desk. And
I'm going to get in trouble anyways. I might as well do something to start.
Yeah. And so then they're behavioral, and it's really just they're protecting. They're kind of going self-protective. So for me, it's the understanding and patience. Oh my gosh, patience is so important.
Yeah, I would agree.
All righty. Good day.
Excellent job, everybody.